In this video, we're going to have a look at different calculations that can help us to summarize organized data. These calculations are divided into two groups. Firstly, the measures of central tendency. These calculations will give us the mean, median, and mode. Next, we have our measures of dispersion, and here we're going to have a look at the range and extremes. I'm going to make use of an example to show you how to calculate each one of these values. Example 1. The data below represents the ages of a group of 21 people. In this case, the data has already been sorted from smallest to biggest or from youngest to oldest. If this was not the case, your first step is always to arrange the data in an increasing order. Our first question is to calculate the mean age of the group. In this case, if we added up all the different life years and we divided it so that everyone is the same age, that is the value of our mean. Therefore, to calculate the mean, we're going to take the sum of all the data values and divide it by the number of values, which in this case was 21 values. The sum of all the data is 372, and if we divide that by 21, the average age for everyone to be the same age would have been 17,71 years. Question B. Determine the median of the data. The median is the data value exactly in the middle of an ordered set of values. In our example, we have 21 values that we now need to divide in two groups to find that middle value. So, if I start on either side and one by one move closer to the middle, you will see that 17 ends up being exactly in the middle. Or you can decide to take the 21 data values and divide it into two groups. That will give you 10 in each group with a remainder of 1 in the middle. So if I start counting the first 10 values from the left, you will see that 17 is the value right after that first group of 10, and after 17 we have 10 more values. Because the median divides the group into two, we can now say that the youngest 50%, or the bottom half of the group, are all younger than 17, and the top or older 50% of the group are all older than 17. Question C. What is the mode? The mode is the data value that is most common in the set or has the highest frequency. In our set, we can see that 5 appears twice, but 21 appears 3 times. Therefore, 21 is the mode of the set. Question D. What is the range of the data? The range is the difference between the highest and lowest values, or the maximum minus the minimum. In our example, the maximum value is 65 and the minimum value is 2. That means that the range is 63. This means that the oldest and youngest in the group have an age difference of 63 years. If you have a look at the set of data, you will agree with me that the age of 65 does not really fit with the rest of them. The rest of the data is anything between 2 and 30 years old, and then suddenly you have this jump up to an age of 65. This value is called an extreme. An extreme or outlier is a value that is much bigger or much smaller than the rest of the set of data. A value like this can sometimes have such a big influence on the calculations that we choose to ignore it when doing our calculations. So let's answer these 4 questions again, but only using the first 20 values this time. Originally, the average or mean age was 17,71. Let's now recalculate this mean only for the first 20 values. Here, the sum of the values is now 307, and this will be divided by 20 values. This new mean is then 15,35. Now you can see that the new mean is more than 2 years less or younger than the original one. Originally, the median of the set of data was calculated as 17, but now we only have 20 values. So, if we divide this up into 2 groups, there will be 10 in each group. But this time, there is no specific value in between the 2 groups. Here, the median will lie between 2 values. So now we need to get the middle of 15 and 17. To do that, we can add 15 and 17 and then divide by 2. But in this case, it's quite clear that the value in between 15 and 17 is 16. So the original median was 17, and now the new median is 16. Previously, the mode was 21. And here, that is still true. Our mode, the value that is seen most often, is still 21. This means that the mode is not influenced by an extreme value. The final question was to calculate the range. Originally, that was 63 years, but now our maximum value is only 30 years. And if we subtract the minimum, we now have a range of 28 years. This means that the youngest and oldest now only differ by 28 years. Extreme values can be ignored or disregarded for many different reasons. For example, when measurements are taken, a measurement can be taken in the wrong way, or when data is collected, it can be written down incorrectly. When doing calculations, you will only disregard the outliers or the extremes when specifically told to do so in the instructions.